Sudan and the aftermath of the dramatic coup against President Omar Al-Bashir by top military officials, ending his 30 years in power. The military today outlining its plans for the immediate future of the country. They did promise to cede power to a civilian government after a transitional period, but the Sudanese people are demanding more immediate political change. Our senior Middle East correspondent Mohammad Al-Kassim has more.
The new military council in Sudan vowed on Friday to open a dialogue with all political groups on forming a civilian government as protesters rallied against their seizure of power.
Today we will have a management of dialogue with the political entities. They will all attend and listen to what we want, and we will listen to what they want in order to prepare the atmosphere for dialogue and for the exchange between us, so we accomplish what we aspire for.
30 years of Sudanese President Omar Al-Bashir rule ended on Thursday with his arrest by the military. The defense minister was sworn in as head of the Transitional Council, declaring a 3-month state of emergency.
I also announced the following. Firstly, the formation of a transitional military council to take over the administration of the nation's government for a transitional period of 2 years. The suspension of the transitional constitution of the Republic of Sudan of 2005.
The cheers over the end of 3 decades of rule by President Bashir quickly changed to anger against the military coup.
Our revolution will continue. It is still the same regime, and we will stay here, and hopefully we will accomplish our desires.
The revolution is against the dictator and against those who remain. He was defeated today, and he will be defeated also when his assistants are brought down. His assistants who are traitors.
We came out from our houses so the situation would change and so that al-Bashir would step down and to have a better person take charge. However, when we first got to the military headquarters and heard the statement, we were honestly upset and sad and felt that nothing had changed.
The unrest began in December when the government raised the cost of bread. It morphed into demands calling on the president to leave. The Sudanese people are rejecting the military transitional government, promising to continue their protests, while the army is warning if the protests continue, it will lead to chaos.
And Mohammad Al-Kassim is with us from our television studio. But first, let's go speak with journalist Patrick Oyet, who joins us from Juba in South Sudan. And Patrick, it looks like we're really heading to a clash between this new military government and those street protesters who want change right now.
Yes, that is how it's looking like now. And of course, we already anticipated this because what the protesters have been actually demanding is a total change of a system in the Sudan. There are a lot of problems in the Sudan, leave alone the issue that brought people out, which was actually the economic difficulties that brought people out. But there are issues to do with things like security. The National Intelligence and the Security Service in the Sudan acts like they are not actually bound by any law. They can arrest you, they can detain you for however long they want. They do not charge you in any court of law. So these are issues that are there. So the people of Sudan did not just want Bashir out and then his colleagues whom he has been working with come and take over power and say, we have suspended the constitution, we have suspended the parliament, we declare a state of emergency, and these are colleagues, these are the same people. So what is the change? The system would continue. So the people of the Sudan have also now tested that it is possible that when they put their demand forward, the demand can be met. They have seen the President Omar Al-Bashir being toppled. So now they don't have any fear. They have nothing to lose. They have demanded this for 4 years. They've been demonstrating, and they have seen some little change already happening. So they are saying they have to push forward and make sure that a real change takes place, a change of systems in the Sudan where there is freedom and, of course, where the economy would actually improve. So, yes.
Patrick, I want to ask you, in a country like Libya, you saw a dictator toppled after decades, and that country split apart. Is a country like Sudan ready for a civilian government, ready for free elections, and manage to still stay united in some way?
It is possible. It is possible. It has happened. For example, in Egypt, of course, they had their own issues, but finally they have stability. Nothing is easy in this world. In a country like Sudan, there are different opposition groups. There are also armed opposition groups, but they can always come together, and things can only get better because people have gone through a lot. You know, economic situation whereby you have your money in the bank, you go to the bank, you can't get money. You go to the hospital, they want you to pay cash, and you don't have where to turn to. The fuel price is going up. Factories are closing up. You're losing the little job you have. So things have been more hard. So people can only move to a better place. And we have seen already, this is a dynamic in the whole of North Africa, that leaders who have overstayed in power, who have stayed in power for long, are being pushed out. So this is also a lesson for whoever is coming to power, that, you know, when you come to power, you have to be a little bit more careful.
Right. Well, Patrick, you raise an interesting point about this happening elsewhere in North Africa. And Mohammad, it's almost uncanny. We see a very similar process taking place right now in Algeria. What is the situation there? How is it developing?
Very much similar to what we are seeing in Sudan. This started last February, and the demand now is that even the interim president should step down, and they're not even satisfied with the date that was set up, July 4th, for presidential elections. What they're saying is in Algeria that these elections may not be transparent, may not be credible, because the same regime that they are against, that they're going out protesting against, will be supervising these elections, and they're not really sure that this will produce the results that they want. This is very much similar to what's happening in Sudan. The Sudanese didn't really go out just wanting the removal of President Omar Al-Bashir. They wanted to see much more than that. They wanted a civilian government. They wanted a new system, of democratic system, which that's their rights, inherent rights, and that's what they're calling for. So just to change the faces and change, one person but with another one from the same institution, which is the military establishment, that is not going to appease or satisfy neither the Algerians nor the Sudanese, at least until now. They both people promised to continue going out to the streets and protesting until their full demands are met.
And very briefly, Mohammed, is this a situation that could spread to other countries, or really just the circumstances are unique to Algeria and Sudan?
No, actually, listen, this is phase 2, many calling it, of the Arab Spring, which started in 2011. Unfortunately, in some countries like Syria and Libya, the results aren't really the best, and it hasn't been really great for other countries that we haven't seen civil war in, such as Egypt and Tunisia. But nevertheless, people here in the Middle East are still continuing to go after changing these, dictatorships with democratic systems, and it looks very promising now for Algeria and Sudan, as long as they can keep it peaceful, and that's what they're saying.
All right, well, it'll be interesting to see if this, in fact, is the development of a separate Arab Spring here, or not even Arab, since we're talking about sub-Saharan Africa. Mohammad Al-Kassim, Patrick Oyet in South Sudan.